into
The
Planet
U.S.
Fuel.
Consulate film documentary or documentary film festival, where I was shown a harrowing documentary about young women who are trafficked from different parts of the world, specifically the U.S., using a particular website where underage girls are bought like product. It was so harrowing. We're going to have conversations about that on the glass ceiling in a couple of weeks. So look forward to hearing all about what I heard at that particular meeting. My God, Aghogho. But my count up is over. 84 days. 84. After President Buhari was sworn in, he gave portfolios to his ministers today. Ministers at last, Aghogho. Huh?
Yeah, at last.
That's why I'm so
finally.
happy.
Yeah, so we can rest now. And all the guys who've been running back-to-back coverage from Abuja to Lagos can heave a huge sigh of relief, I guess, beginning from Philip Nweli and the rest of the crew who did a fantastic job today with the coverage of the assigning of portfolios as well as all of the big story we're going to be talking about very soon.
Yes, indeed. And there were some surprises and some obvious choices. But all in all, we now know who our ministers are. So no excuses, huh? It's time for governance 84 days later. We didn't just get our portfolios on hard facts today. No, Aghogho and I have been here to give you the best insights into today's most important topics. We bring them to you, we break them down, we give you the facts, and you can form an informed opinion. And if you missed any of our shows, Morning Crossfire all the way to the Comedy HQ show on the overnight or the show with Dr. Tolu, you can watch on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube as well at Nigeria Info FM. We have a great show today. The ministerial list is our first story. Of course it is. And the police rearrest Wadume and he is singing. My God. The DSS claims Shore took foreign money to topple Buhari. Let's take a look at those stories. No glass ceiling or big hard fact today. Why, Aghogho?
Yeah, because we're going to be looking in depth at the ministerial list as well as seeing what the high points are. And we'll have great conversations with you, more importantly, because it's why we're here in the first instance, so that you can tell us what you think about the list, the president's cabinet, and what lies ahead for them. So what we've been doing since last week will come to ahead today, because now we know who's going where and who's not going where, and we can have a more focused conversation on the strengths and weaknesses of the president's cabinet.
Yes, indeed. And we'll wrap up with I Beg to Differ. As usual, throughout the show, we're bringing you the latest updates from the world of news, sports, and entertainment. But let's start it all off right now with the Big Three.
Here on the Big Three on 99.3 Cherry Info. This is the Big Three.
The Big Three. On Hard Facts.
On 99.3 Nigeria Info.
25 minutes past 3. Welcome. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili.
And I'm Aghogho, Oboh.
And you know what to expect on the Big Three. Stories that everybody's talking about right now. If you've never joined us, welcome to today's edition. Are you happy with the ministerial portfolios? We'd like to know. Do you believe Wadume? He's singing, and we're going to tell you the songs that he has to sing. What do you think about DSS's new accusations against Shore? Let's get into these stories. As I said at the top of the show, my count up is over. President Buhari today gave portfolios to his returning and new ministerial nominees. Some of the highlights include Ralph Aregbesola being appointed Interior Minister, Timipre Silva as Minister of State for Petroleum, Obonayonu returns to the Ministry of Science and Technology. And we finally know which pegs have gone into which holes, Aghogho.
Yeah, some of the interesting scenarios I've seen being painted online has with Festus Keyamo, who had such a sterling performance during the confirmation with the Senate. He's talked about breaking up the Supreme Court into 6 geopolitical zones, and all of that stuff about the law won't happen because
he's not the Minister of Justice.
Because he's not the Minister of Justice or Attorney General of the Federation. He is going to the Ministry of Niger Delta as the junior minister. And interestingly, the Minister of Niger Delta is Godswill Akpabio, someone who, when he was governor and out of office, he did clash with
Festus
Keyamo as the counsel for the EFCC then.
A lesson for the supporters of these people.
So now he'll be junior minister to someone who probably had in his crosshairs as a corruption target for Festus Keyamo. But it's not so much surprise for people like Jeffrey Onyama, who returns as the Minister of Foreign Affairs. There was some clapping for him when that happened. And then I did catch the president chuckle when he announced Dr. Chris Ngige as the Minister of Labour and Employment. It was like, what was not being said, you are back to your wahala because of the comments. He probably had made some comments yesterday on the silence of the retreat.
Was that it, or was it the fact that Labour people have said don't return Chris Ngige or there'll be problems?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So, I mean, it's just like, you get what you want back again, and the wahala is with you. And I can imagine the groans that will go through the entire. Incidentally, there's an ongoing industrial dispute between non-academic staff union and the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities. This is day 3 now, and on a warning strike over a number of issues they have pointed out. So it would be good to see how Chris Ngige settles to where he stopped the problems from the last administration.
Yes, indeed. Let's find out if you are happy with the ministerial selection process. If not, what changes would you want to see? Are you happy with the portfolios that has been given to us? Now, don't worry. If you don't have enough time to talk about this particular matter, we're going to talk about it from 4 p.m. until 6 p.m. So you will talk to your heart's content. But right now, we want to know as quickly as possible, are you happy with the selection process? Are you happy with the portfolios that the ministers have been given? What are your thoughts? If you're not happy with the process, what changes would you want to see? 01277 0993, 01277 1993, 01277 2993, and 01277 3993. WhatsApp is available as well. WhatsApp is 080 959 75805. And of course, you can leave us comments on Facebook and YouTube at Nigeria Info FM. Facebook and YouTube is Nigeria Info FM. Ufoma is in Magodo. Hello, Ufoma. Welcome.
Hey, good afternoon, Sandra.
Good to hear from you, Ufoma.
It's also nice and great to go, man.
Yeah, hello, Ufoma. Well done.
I'm fine, yes. At the end of the day, the minister has been finally be appointed. But there's one thing I have to take it from this appointment today.
Okay.
The minister from Ondo State,
Alasha Dura.
Alasha Dura. You know, I like the one that give about a biography. You know, from
Messenger.
Exactly.
To Chief Executive Officer.
Is there anything to take home in this ministerial appointment? I would just love its biography. Let me ask another question. This minister from Benue State, you know, a former governor, what is performance? A person that ruled for 8 years, senator for 12 years. Do we even need such a person again? So
I think the question you're probably be asking is, what ministry is he going to be running, and what is the responsibility of a minister of special duties?
Exactly. So looking at that appointment in biography, I don't think that we need such a people again. Because the governor, nothing good from his state for 8 years, and senator. So, well, all I'm done, I would just like the biography of Alasho Adura for all the other people. Hey, Aghogho.
Yes, sir.
Let me ask your brother. Keyamo.
Your brother. You didn't
how
tell
is
me
he
he was
my-
your brother.
How is he my
Aghogho.
brother?
Is that right? He's your brother?
Let me see for my brother, I guess as much. So.
Ufoma, let's talk to Darlington. He's been waiting for a while, okay? Darlington is in your not, but hello, Darlington. Welcome.
Sandra.
Yes.
You went away, Abi.
But I'm back. Am I not?
In fact, if you didn't come today, I was preparing to report you to Bana Balago.
You have to make special sacrifices. He's in the spirit realm.
Don't worry yourself. No, we don't have to do it.
Abi? All right, let's talk, Darlington.
Okay. You can see that all the hoopla is just nothing. We are just excited for nothing. It is back to business as usual. Tell me what is going to change now. No, just tell me. I have always told everybody who cares to listen that Buhari is comfortable with this mediocre performance because these people are working according to his own terms, not for Nigerian people. A president that is in a hurry to develop this country, a president that is in a hurry for success, will never retain these people. Seriously. What is the reason? Tell me. That means that this man is comfortable with what these people are doing. They are working for him, not for Nigerians. So let nobody expect anything new. He is okay with what they are doing. Look at how he returned all of them. The same portfolio. What are they doing there? What are they bringing to the table now? Tell me. So you can see that, I wasn't excited myself because I knew that nothing is going to change. I wish them well, though. Anyway, I know that God will keep us until 4 years expires. Let's see whether he will leave or he will stay.
All right, Darlington, thanks for calling and sharing your thoughts. Christopher is in Surulere. Hello, Christopher.
My President Sandra Ezekwesili.
How are you, Christopher?
I can't wait for your own minister's list.
Oh, yes, it will be fire.
Chief Oboh.
Chief Christopher.
Shakumaku.
Makushi.
Yeah. President Sandra, I like the way you call that guy the Wadume man. Wadume.
I turned it into an Igbo name, huh?
Igbo name, yes, Wadume. Chief Oboh.
Yes, sir.
The senator, the minister of state for Niger Delta. You know, in Nigeria, we don't resign. If not some people who have, they look at what happened between him and Akpabio. You know, you were trying to make some. You remember, right?
Oh, very true, very true.
Like my president said, those who were fighting for them then. Oh no, Akpabio is the best. Akpabio haven't done anything. Now look at today. They pinch both of them together. To tell you the outcome of this corruption fight we are fighting. President Sandra, please, when you get there, be a good listener. To be a good listener, to be a good leader, you have to be a good listener, right?
Okay, sir.
So for me, my people say, Wagwa Uchinte Sage well. They know they tell deaf person, say, war, don't come. Thank you.
Thanks for calling, Christopher. Adewale is in Badagry. That's the last call we'll take and move on to our second story. Quite hot. Hello, Adewale.
Yes, who is the Minister of Agriculture? Because that is an important portfolio that Nigeria is looking up to now.
The Minister of Agriculture. I will let you know shortly.
Okay, so while Aghogho is helping us find that information, let's tell you our second story. Police has arrested suspected kidnap kingpin Hamisu Balawadume. The police tweeted a video in which the suspect narrated how soldiers of the Nigerian army allegedly attacked and shot police officers who had him under arrest. According to Wadume, the soldiers then took him to their base and sawed off his handcuffs, allowing him to escape. Meanwhile, the Nigerian army has responded to the case, saying it would not interfere with the investigation and prosecution of any soldiers found to be involved in Wadume's escape, in which 3 police officers and 2 civilians were killed. The man made some pretty chilling accusations in that video, Aghogho. Did you watch it?
Oh, yeah, I did see part of it, and it's of great concern, I have to admit, because and also together with that, because this definitely puts it puts an end to the first statement put out by the military saying that this wasn't this was just a miscommunication over what happened on friendly fire, and all of that was obviously orchestrated, because the first question, the evidence to show that this was done to free the man, and over a week later we get to find him in Kano State, holed up in some hideout. So that has put to bed that story about whether or not the intervention happened or not. And then also very importantly, together with that, is the nature of the man which has been unraveled now, Wadume, and his role not just within that area, but how he spread his tentacles far and wide. There are reports now from his community saying, yes, they're happy that he's been... The traditional rulers and certain people in the area are happy because those arbitrary arrests aren't going to happen again now that Wadume has been caught. But it is the mood of the community that really made me to think about what it is to be a citizen of this country or be from any of those places, because people are very sad that the man has been arrested. They describe him as a great philanthropist, someone who was building mosques, hospitals, schools for the community. All of this definitely from kidnapped money is the way it looks like. And people never stop to question exactly how this... And there are people like Wadume in several communities in Nigeria who are doing stuff for the benefit, like Robin Hood of the people. But people haven't questioned where the money has come from. I still expect by the time they get out all of those information, we'll get to know, maybe there'll be a book like Pablo Escobar of people who are high and low in the society in the that under Wadume's payroll, who will be found out in time that these people were just doing his bidding because of, like some people have pointed out in online comments I've seen, a failure in governance. So this failure in governance has allowed characters like Wadume to become government for the people, and people don't give a damn where the money is coming from.
How the money comes from.
Yeah.
Because to be honest with you, I found that very curious, very alarming, the reaction from Wadume's hometown, EB community. People in that community, saying they'll miss him. Newspapers are quoting EB residents as saying that Wadume took good care of them. They're calling him a philanthropist who built boreholes, who was building a mosque before his arrest. And all of that had me thinking, Aghogho. According to the police, Wadume was allegedly using EB as his base of operations. Allegedly, his gang was attacking people along the highway that connects to EB. If these allegations are true, it means he was operating very close to home, and the people of EB would have had an idea of what he was allegedly doing. Yet they're not talking about that. Yeah. They're not condemning any of that. They're calling him a philanthropist and a humanitarian. It's almost as though, like you've been saying, the source of the money doesn't matter as long as the people are benefiting. So,
and it keeps replaying over and over. I mean, the biggest story we had back in the 80s then was Lawrence Anini, the law. They used to call him in the old Bendel state then in Benin. And the way Anini would operate then, he would go steal and then he would come into the marketplace and he would throw it, Obasmak, he would throw the money at the people and people would rush after the money and all of that. It was how he gained fame and notoriety then. And, people sort of began to consider him a philanthropist or the next best thing to a governance in the state. And the same thing has happened here, which perhaps may have provided the cover over the... Now, all of those security characters he's mentioned and the rest of them, will for them to come out and say, no, we had no idea this was going on. But obviously, in this sort of setup, money must have changed hands over and over again. Maybe just driving past a few Naira notes here and there, something for the children and all of that sort of has enshrined him in their consciousness. So for them to describe him as a philanthropist means that he's someone of high standing within the community.
The army's response is not exactly a robust denial. The army didn't say, this man is lying, he's a criminal. Anybody found liable, nobody should believe him. The army is saying instead, let this matter be investigated. Anybody found liable should be punished. That's almost an acceptance that a crime was committed. And remember that when the shooting first happened, the army made a statement that it was an error. It was mistaken identity. party. The soldiers thought the cops were robbers and kidnappers. But now the army doesn't seem to be doubling down on that story anymore. So let's ask you who's listening at home, how impressed are you by the police's rearrest of Wadume? What do you think about his fingering of soldiers as his rescuers? Why do you think that the residents of Ibi are sad? What do you think about that? What do you think about them being sad that their destiny helper, Wadume, has been arrested? 01277 0993, 01277 2993, 01277 3993, and 01277 1993. While you are letting that story stew, let's tell you our very third story. This particular one coming out of the stables of the DSS. They're saying that Omoyele Sowore, the presidential candidate, former presidential candidate of, what's the name of that political party that he ran under again?
African Alliance Congress.
Yes, indeed. They, on Friday, filed in their affidavit that Sowore met in the UAE and other countries with various foreign groups to plan the violent overthrow of the Buhari administration and the illegal liberation from detention of Ibrahim El-Zakzaky, leader of the proscribed Islamic Movement of Nigeria, IMN. The DSS also alleges that Sowore received millions of US dollars from these foreign groups to carry out the plans. Again, Aghogho, very strong accusations.
Very strong accusations, and they're asking for if when those 45 days where they secured from the court that he be held up on for investigation is continuing, they will seek for another 45 days. So this meeting, clandestine, some have called it, between Nnamdi Kanu and Omoyele Sowore. And you see, they go use the word terrorist organization in describing IPOB, and we'll probably be thinking of some of those incidents that happened in Nuremberg, to justify some of the things they say has happened. I haven't heard that in, but very soon you probably would hear that in. And I've always questioned what happened in that meeting. When Omoyele Sowore met with Nnamdi Kanu, that meeting wasn't publicized in any way, whatever they discussed. He just came out of the meeting saying that this is what we have agreed on, the areas we think are, and the areas we think that we don't agree on, and we found our mutual agreement. So we'll see how this one will play out. But definitely, as the days pass by and the weeks and months run, it appears that Omoyele Sowore, with the government, this matter will drag on for some time.
It's important to note that the DSS doesn't name the foreign people and groups that it claims Sowore was conspiring with. Normally, this should not remain hidden before it shouldn't remain hidden for the duration of the trial. Before Sowore can be found guilty or not guilty of conspiring with person X, the prosecution must name person X in open court. And secondly, if this person X, a foreigner, is trying to overthrow the Nigerian government, Nigerians should be told who the person is. Nigeria doesn't gain anything by keeping the identity secret. See, for example, what happened in Equatorial Guinea in 2004. There was an attempted coup. Yeah. The authorities openly accused Mark Thatcher, the son of former UK Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher. They claimed that he worked to help sponsor and organize the coup. Or even more recently, you had the US investigators openly accusing Russia of trying to manipulate their election. So you see, it's perfectly normal to name the alleged conspirator. But let's bring it over to you. Do you believe the new accusations, the new allegations against Sowore? Do you think he wanted to break El-Zakzaky out of detention? Do you think he wanted to overthrow the government violently? What do you think about the fact that the alleged foreign conspirators have not been named? We've got 1 minute, so 2 calls, 30 seconds. Hello to you. What's your name? Hello? Yes, welcome to the show.
Yes, my name is Joe. I'm calling from Yaba.
Hey, Joe. Go ahead.
Now, my take on this particular something, I want to talk about the army aspect.
Okay.
Where the army had initially said it was an error, and they spoke so, authoritatively that the whole thing was the fault of the police. Now that it is the way it is, the person who said such things in the army, if they do have respect for themselves, should resign. They should resign, because if in their own house they don't have the right information and they put it out and the whole thing is going the way it is now, and they are like sitting back and thinking that everything will die like that. It's not supposed to be, because this was not the first case that has happened before Wadume Zone. Another has happened before now, which was recorded in the IG's office also, that the police went to the same place, around that same area, beat up policemen who came to arrest a drug dealer. So they should look into all these things. And that's why we are having the problem with the insurgency in the north. We are not able to deal with it because there are conspirators inside the army who are spoiling show for the Nigerian people.
Joe, thanks for calling us and sharing your thoughts. Our last call is Chooks in Ajah. Chooks, we've got 30 seconds. Share your thoughts very quickly.
Yeah, in fact, on the army issue, I don't know how safe we are now. If people that you are entrusted with the security of the nation and compromise our, trust and our belief in them concerning all the security issues that we have all around the country, all around the banditry and all the rest of it. So do we now resolve the issue of the fifth colonist, which some people legend the army?
Who do we trust? Chooks is asking. Chooks, thanks for calling us. If we cannot trust our security operatives, who can we trust? Leave us comments on Facebook, Nigeria Info FM, to YouTube as well, Nigeria Info FM. We're going to read some of those comments as we go along during our coverage analysis. Well, not coverage anymore. It's an analysis of the process that you witnessed on Nigeria Info during the announcement of portfolios today in Abuja.
Right. So we're going to take a quick break. Listen to these.
Rally Academy,
and then we'll be back
immediately after it's done and start analyzing the portfolios.
This is a paid announcement.